Welcome to Massive Beers. Yeah, my name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here, and we have a little bit of Ecliptic up in this piece. Yeah, a little bit of Altbier from Ecliptic out of their Moon Room series. Yeah. Ecliptic sends me stuff quite often. Once, twice a month, actually. Do dig their beers. This one's a little bit dented. So it's going to be a little bit hard to open. We'll get there. Full disclosure. I just got over the craziest, sickness 2-week period of my life in history. I never get sick. I got this stomach norovirus thing and immediately came out of that and got crazy allergies, because allergies are now a thing because I'm old and stuff. And then, I actually ended up getting a crazy kind of sinusy thing, infection from that and all that stuff. So I'm a little bit nasally, but I can smell, I assure you. Label-wise, that's what we have going on. Put that sucker over here. We'll see what's what. And beer-wise, ripping out of this classic Pilsner Call glass. You have that nice kind of classic kind of rich brown bready kind of color that you typically get with an alt beer. Nice kind of fluffy creamy head on that sucker. So it definitely looks the part. Let's see if we can get a nose. Yeah, sweet caramels, but nothing too crazy. Think Bach, but at low ABV. This is coming in at a whopping, alt beer isn't that big, I'm just joking, 5.7. Well, high for an alt beer, maybe, not really. But it comes off as this soft little brown bready little caramel kind of vibes to it. Maybe a little tannic tea-like bittering to it. Pretty much done and done. Nothing too crazy. It's an alt beer, you're not expecting anything insane unless you're going with a new and Americanized crazy bonkers version of an alt beer. That's not what Ecliptic does. Let's just dive in. Cheers, y'all. Yeah. Classically tasty, deliciously alty. What you're getting here is kind of like I've always envisioned alt beers kind of landing as a milder version of a combination of something that falls between a Bach and kind of like a, not ESB, but maybe a light level kind of ESB, and that's pretty much what you're getting here. You're getting this nice rich malt base. Has this kind of brown bready characteristic we talked about on the color, we talked about actually on the nose, but with a little bit more of a pop of caramel too. Probably a little bit more extra than I typically expect from a classic kind of alt beer. There is a nice bittering here. It definitely comes off kind of tannic tea, like kind of the fugly old school Kent Golding's kind of style, kind of bittering. Not too hyper aggressive, not too overly in your face, but for the style, it's quite aggressive. It's got a really nice soft kind of mouthfeel, a la Baki. But it finishes clean, almost lager-esque. This is ale yeast. I believe all beers are typically... No? It is a lager. I'm wrong. And it comes off just as this nice kind of like rich, malty, expressive beer, but at a relatively low ABV. I'm not going to sit here and try to talk you into alt beers being the end-all, be-all, most cool, most unique version of beer, but I really do dig on them when they're done and done well. And this one, while I think it's a little bit more volumetric to the typical alt beer, given a little bit of chutzpah, a la American style, but still classic enough to kind of fall in those kind of guidelines. If you're about the old BJCB book, it's a really tasty beer. It comes off really tasty, really fun, really drinkable, and honestly, something I was looking forward to. Coming off this kind of nasally, coldy thing. Haven't been really drinking beer at all, and I kind of wanted to ease into something with malt base, not really jump into straight hopville kind of hoppiness. And this is definitely footing the bill. Coming off tasty, coming off chuggable, coming off drinkable. Coming off nice, and a nice little kind of tip-off to a couple beers. I'm going to do a couple of reviews tonight, and this is the first one in the shoot. So there you go. Moon Room Series alt beer from Ecliptic Brewing. If you're not familiar with how alt beers get down, like I said, just take your ESB, take a classic, not Doppelbock, but regular Bach, throw them together, add maybe a touch more, kind of slight touch of caramel to it, more, and you're done and done. A very tasty combination, and I'm a fan. This will not go undrank. Let's put it that way. So, there you go. Mount Rushmore's that. It's one of the better post-naval trip. One of the better alt beers. And as of late, actually, it is Mount Rushmore status as alt beers go. You know, that's not a very tall mountain to climb, but it's definitely worthy of being up there. And Ecliptic is a brewery. It's kind of like they've grown on me so much. Maybe, I don't know if it's the constant barrage of beers from them. I think that goes both ways. I think that is like, you know, if a brewery is constantly sending you stuff and they're mediocre and they're good, mediocre, they can be a little bit kind of like, I don't know. But when they're consistently good, which is Ecliptic typically is, kind of want to visit. You know, a good friend of mine just moved out to the West Coast. I have it on my bucket list to take my family out there and visit. Not one to travel all that much, especially in airplanes, but I definitely want to get out there. And if I do get out to the West Coast, and I do have the opportunity, to definitely stop by. Have you all stopped by? Have you been to Ecliptic? Have you had their beers? Have you had this particular beer? All that fun stuff down there. Let's talk about it. So there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of alt beer right now. We'll see you next time. Cheers, y'all.